Hello, I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. In today's midweek natural gas report, natural gas prices are down. Currently for the spot November contract, we're currently trading at 3,414, down 8.4 cents or 2.4%. As you can see here from barchart.com, the November contract is holding above both the 13 and 48 period moving averages, the exponential moving averages, but it is choppy. And right now we want to use that exponential moving average, which is at 340, that's for the 48 period, as support. Right now we're close to getting there, but again, prices have to break below 335.30, that's the 13 period moving average, before we see some more bearish confirmation. Right now, the RSI is warning that we may see some further downside against that storage report tomorrow, which will probably come in around plus 80. Now, that sounds like a lot, but last year it was 94, so it's actually bullish if it comes in around 80, but it's close to the 5-year average. So let's turn to the hourly chart. And as you can see right now, we are currently just holding through the pivot, which came in at 345.90, and we are at first pivot support, which is at 339.40. So again, 340 is that exponential moving average on the daily chart, and 339.40 here is for the pivots for the hourly chart, again on barchart.com. The RSI is pointing lower, so it looks like we're going to test that level here shortly, and let's see what happens here tomorrow after we get the storage report, because we've got some mixed pictures out there. Fundamentally, production is down even as LNG export demand is up. And let's turn to the front to back spreads, which are also confirming we've got a very choppy period right now. The this DEES26 versus DEES25 is up 6 cents, well, almost 6 cents now, up 5.9 cents or 9.49%, but it's very choppy over the last week here. So we've got to be very careful because the moving averages are converging, and that means we're in for some sort of change. And let's take a look at what's going on in the Asian versus the European markets. This is the JKM versus the TTF. That's the Asian market versus the European market for the November contract. And as you can see, it is down. It is down to minus 13.5, which means that European prices are stronger than Asian prices for LNG. And why? Here's the storage level from the EU. And as you can see, we're at 82.9%, but this is below the average and below last year. And why? Well, the Germany, which is DE, and Austria, which is AT, are below where France and Italy are sitting, which are mid-90s. So we've got some room to catch up here, but it looks like LNG exports out of the United States are going to remain strong going into winter. And let's turn to the weather. The 8 to 14-day temperature outlook is above normal for Texas and parts of New England, but below out in California. And as you can see here, this lasts through the 21st. But let's look at what happens right around the 20th. And that's because we get a cold front, a big one coming in from the West Coast and therefore descending into the midsection of the country. This is centered around Kansas and Oklahoma and parts of northern Texas, where we're going to see below normal temperatures for this time of year. Is it a sign of an early winter? Well, only time will tell. We'll get that ENSO report here in the next week, and we'll decide whether or not we're going to get a strong La Nina or a weak La Nina, or perhaps just ENSO neutral. So again, we'll get a little bit more clarity next week. But what else is going on? The tropics. This is Tropical Storm Jerry. This is formed here just east of the Windward and Leeward Islands here. And as you can see, it will make hurricane status sometime tomorrow afternoon. And it is still expected to remain well out to sea, but does have a glancing blow at Bermuda again, which is right here, as you can see, sometime around early Monday morning. It's going to be really close. So this is the track. As you can see, the guidance is, this is Bermuda right here. It is going to stay to the east of Bermuda and well out to sea. No threat to the eastern seaboard. So this is Jerry right here on the satellite picture. Coming off of Africa, it's pretty quiet. Again, we've got that Saharan air layer or dust. And over here, we're going to keep a careful eye on things because, well, This is what the tropical hazards are. That's that mid-Atlantic storm, Jerry. And then the focus points right back over here around Honduras and the the Bay of Campeche around the Yucatan Peninsula is going to be the focus as we close out the hurricane season. And here's the satellite. As you can see, there is a bunch of storms here forming in the Bay of Campeche. And so we've got to keep a careful eye on this because they can get pulled up into Texas and Louisiana at this time of year. What else is lending support to natural gas prices? The status of U.S. nuclear outages, which have been very high. And currently today, it is sitting right now here for the 8th, right now it is sitting at 17.8 gigawatts, which is above last year's 17.2, and that is above the 5-year band. So this is strong demand for natural gas if we still have latent summer heat, which we have had here in Texas because it's been in the 90s. So here we go. We've got some volatility in the weather coming up, and hopefully here we'll peak out sometime in the first week of November for the nuclear outages, and then they'll come back online for winter. And here's our oil and gas E&P sector stocks. These are stocks with a market cap between $2 and $10 billion and have a high short float. And this is unfortunately the 1-week performance because they're giving back a lot of the gains. Civitas is the weaker one here at minus 5.77%. Murphy barely holding on, almost up 1% for the week. So again, recapping here right now for the spot November contract, we are currently trading at 342.2. 342 now, down 7.8 cents or over 2.2%. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.